forward with your plans. You don't stop. And it's more than protesting in the streets. It's infiltration. It's trying to unplug people from the matrix. As this stuff melts down, women, they're going to play, they will be playing a critical role in this in the future, in taking back their own power. Those that are already on that level of taking back their own power, they're not in happy places. The people that aren't happy, the ladies you see in this town, they aren't taking back their own power. They're not looking very happy. Same thing with the men. If you're not on the right path in this time, you will experience suffering in your heart. You will experience some sort of turmoil here. This is why some people hurt themselves or hurt others. We're supposed to evolve out of this. I'm going to victimize you so I can feel good, or I like to be victimized because it reminds me of being a slave in the jungle. Yeah. Oh, God. Baby, hit me one more time. Poker face, Lady Gaga, dancing with a collar. There was this show. There we go. There we go. You got it. All right, phone call in a minute. It was on True TV last night, and let me tell you what it was. And I don't want to get too graphic or anything, but this is what we're up against, and this is what we have to expose, because we have to protect the feminine part of our, I don't just mean females, that other part of us that's not just masculine, but has that feminine side. When you see a woman on TV repeatedly thrown on the ground and thrown into a car violently, to me that's mind control. Abuse women, abuse women. I talk about on the show a lot directly because there's something going on out there that has to be addressed. Why do people watch this? See how it affects people and affects their consciousness. It was like wild police chase crap show, wild shocking women are drunk. Women are drunk, therefore it's okay to grab them by the hair and throw them in a car. I was so horrified. This is the society we live in, folks. It's not, well, don't ever say, oh, it's always been this way. Because there are shifts. There's some weird, bizarre stuff that comes out that I call demonic. And I see Satan's army rising. And I know what side I'm on, and it ain't that. There is a force of light that's here to expose those things that gotta leave the planet. And it comes to business relationships, there's times when we have to walk out and say, you do not deserve my energy or attention because you're an abuser and I won't work with your energy. You have to change or evolve if we're to become a partnership and share energy in some way. Otherwise, it's a war zone. Michael wanted a war. He's not going to get one. Therefore, he's not going to be very happy for a while until he realizes he's not going to get what he wants. Back to the TV. If they want people hurting women and suppressing that, and all these things are happening with Gaga and Aguilera and the others, what's the opposite of that? Total love and compassion for all of nature, especially at this time. Okay, let's get away from this graphic permanently for the night and take those phone calls that we've got coming up. If we do have that person still on the air. All right, that was a loud one. Okay, are you still there? Yep. Okay, Bill, for future reference, this is why we do the sound check before the show starts, just so we can kind of do it. So I can't hear him, so he needs to be brought up in studio so I can hear him. Go ahead, caller.
Okay.
Okay, now we have that screech thing. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, you can.
What I say is that I believe that probably the FBI and MAGIC's covert operations corrupted my plan for your preparedness store and selected Michael Knight as a kind of a front man.
Okay, Bill, I need you to work on the audio here. He's fading in and out. What he's saying is very important, and we don't want to lose the call. So we want him to keep talking like we're doing the sound check kind of at the beginning. And if he gets connected, call back. He just fell off the line. What was happening at the store is a lot of people are calling and hanging up. So someone's letting me know they're watching me. And back to my clairvoyant friends, they were able to also see the locations or remote view where it's coming from. China was one of them. And we have some other person that's monitoring here within our own government. But I got to tell you, folks, there's certain energies that don't want them discussed, talked about, because it brings them into the light. And apparently that's what I've been trying to do my whole life. Especially the last, on some level, is expose truth, to protect, to serve the light in some way. And I have found it fit for me to talk about those forces that caused 9/11, to talk about these plans I feel they're coming to Portland, Oregon, to talk about this manufactured rise of China and how it could affect our future here on the west coast of the United States, elsewhere in America. I feel we need to look at the potential of those non-human forces that have been here for some time that are manipulating human society. I feel it's relevant to raise such questions as to who runs this planet. Because it's happening. Something is unfolding fast before our very eyes. Sci-fi fiction, movies, the books, everything. It's like this knowing that humanity has had for so long. And it's just moving in light speed. And the stuff that people have said that would pass now coming to pass, far outside of prophecy. So I'm looking at this from a lot of different angles and the proper way to be mindful in this strange matrix that I live in. And we have that phone call, but there are forces out there that want to provoke a fight, that want your anger, that want your evil, Luke. Always remember that. There's something they want from you. There's something they want out of you to rise, to do something so they have an excuse. Always remember that as we go through this next year. All right. And we're not even, folks, getting into the Manchurian candidates, but that's another night. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello. You're talking about...
Okay, Alex. Kill the graphics. All right, go ahead.
Okay, number one, you were talking about the Preparedness Center. I did go to the lecture yesterday afternoon, and Mr. Knight is very, very dark. I couldn't, I was like maybe 20 feet away from him, and the only one that had any light in them at all was Felix. And the rest were just like, I couldn't hardly wait till the lecture was over. I wanted to sit there and listen, and I did. Got some information. And after the lecture was over, I did walk up to Felix, and I asked him very nicely if he could tell me why Alex Anasiri was not there. And he said that the only thing he knew was that Alex had resigned from the Preparedness Center.
Alex has resigned. This is Michael Knight's accent. Alex has resigned. I don't know. He got on some weird shit and said the demons ran after him and he ran out the store. But I don't know. He assaulted a customer for no reason whatsoever. I'm calling the police to tell them we have an unstable individual that may be going to the church. And he writes me this email.
So then I replied to him. I said, Alex received a notice saying that he should not show up here, otherwise he would be arrested. And I left it at that and walked away. But the darkness in there was so thick. And at one time, I almost fell asleep. And that's never happened to me before. And now I know, I won't say it over the phone or over the air, but I know where that energy was coming from. And the darkness could not stand to look at the light.
When I talk about these things, demons, it's not what people say, it's all just a part of our mind. And I think there's a lot of truth in that these are reflections of ourselves in the strange metaphysical universe. But traditionally, there are people that do go through tremendous tests when they're talking about certain things. And, I would be talking about things on the telephone in the store, spiritual conversations, and the phone line would be dropped. And I don't see strange things. And what is interesting about it is how I am not physically harmed and still going about what I've been doing all these years without fear. For some reason, I can't fully explain. Logistically, it's not left. It's just knowing that I feel I'm going to be okay. They're trying to operate on some other level to get to me. It's not a hallucination. There are some people that have an evil running through them. We have people that have these. This is known. We know about Bilderberger guys, right? People that are sociopaths who like to control it, like to kill, and things like that. that has a certain energy frequency. And I tell you, when people are at that frequency, stuff comes through because they can work with that energy. So I think a lot of us are dealing with this stuff with other people. I'm hearing it since I started sharing my story with others, I've been hearing other similar stories about other people in certain energetic dynamics with some sort of evil that seems to be rising in people. And good people are people that are on the light path being tested. And I'm seeing other people be tested. I know someone, the other day, a friend of mine, her baby was taken in the middle of the night by her meth head ex. And she had to go through this whole thing. And she's also a being of great light. And so I could see her being tested in terms of how she's going to react to this. I think that's, and I've talked with you at Link on Air, a big part of this awakening, that we are going through this test and how we're going to react to these forces.
Mm-hmm. True. Now, another subject you were talking about was the uprising in Libya, Egypt. There's also going to be an uprising in Central America. It's going to be like a domino effect. About probably 2 weeks ago, almost, Vice President Biden was standing there with his arms up like he was some kind of a god and calling out to other countries to follow suit what Egypt had done. Now that is really, I couldn't believe what I was hearing and seeing at the same time. So there is something in the uprising for sure.
Yeah, there certainly is. I came home last week, and I didn't mean to say, oh, I live in a drug house and it's all horrible. Well, you have certain stuff going on that shouldn't be going there in the basement. And I bring it up like people do, hey, folks, I'm in the real world here, just trying to survive. Like, oh, I just happen to be on TV with a different point of view, but I'm still going through, or similar point of view, still going through things, and I share these things because sometimes we're supposed to rise up against those energies around us that need to wake up and get with the program, get out of our path if they're of the dark. And so this person's tweaking around in the garage at 12:45, just cleaning stuff up, doing that whole like tweaker dance thing, the tweaker dance. Rosanna, you ever seen the tweaker dance? Have you ever seen the dance?
No, I haven't.
Well, they're just looking on the ground for an extra cigarette butt, and I go, I know exactly what you're doing downstairs. And let me tell you something. I know where to look if there's anything stolen. I don't want to have any problems. I've already heard about some things going on. I've been going through all this crap, losing my business and da-da-da. I don't want to have anything negative take place up there near my room. And she's like, oh, I'm not doing, I know. Yeah, she's just running from me. Like total wrath of God came out. I wasn't rough or anything or yelling too loud. I was just basically like, hey, felt bad for a minute, but I felt like that was something that had to be said. And sometimes you might feel something in your body that has to be said, especially at this point in time. So we're seeing in Libya, you're talking about Central America, we have shifts with relationships, shifts with employees and their abusive employers, shifts on all level, and go with the good energy and rise up against the dark. But don't let the dark pull you down, because there's like massive deceptions taking place. I heard someone say one time, never try to argue with the devil. Have you heard that?
Oh, yes, I have.
That's an interesting, I've been thinking about that one. It tries to pull you in and gets you to argue. People want to argue with me at the bar. They want to argue. They want to be zombies and go, oh, yeah, you don't talk about such things here, Alex. The
good thing that about that bad energy, that weird energy, if you do not even pay attention, ignore it, it can't stand it, and it has to, just leave because it's not getting anything from you. You're ignoring that.
There's so much energy to tap into now that's flooding our bodies. Mm-hmm. That has to be utilized towards focusing on changing the local government here in Portland, Oregon right now. Growing gardens. We all have to grow our own food.
Yes.
Basic preparedness.
Speaking of gardens.
We could talk about real preparedness, not that store at the high prices and this, that, and the other. We'll talk about that sometime. Well, Well, I'm going to let you go, but this is where we're shifting now. It's they want us to fight. They want us to argue. They want our attention. They want to drain our energy because they're vampires. And we're trying to move beyond this dimension of reality, and some of us are already doing